All right, guys. Fula coming to you with another commentary. You know, it shouldn't be like this, right? It shouldn't be there. I shouldn't have to be making these videos. You know, I shouldn't have to be making these videos, right? But the problem is, many women are giving me more examples of why I'm making these videos. You know, it's sad to say it, but it's just like, damn it, man. Um, so like, let's see what the Prophet Muhammad, alayhi salatu salam, said about women and their ungratefulness and just everything. Okay. Okay. So the thing is that now let's look at this article and let's just break it down and let me show you some examples of what I'm talking about, unfortunately. And it's by a woman. This is by a woman. You know, this is by a woman. And also, this is by a Muslim woman. And also, unfortunately, this Muslim woman will be called a pick-me. You know, that's the thing. Again, you know, these women will be called pick-me's and things like that. But let's look at what she has to say about the nagging woman. Okay. So she said, a woman is believed to be the beauty, charm, and attraction of the world. She is valued to be one of the amazing creations of the Almighty. But still, it's sad that most of the hell's inhabitants will be women. Well, we understand that. Number one, they outnumber men, you know. But at the same time, we see, I can literally go to Clubhouse right now and show you why the women are gonna, the inhabitants of women will be hell, why the inhabitants of hell will be women. Let me go into Clubhouse right now and I'm gonna just show you a quick taste of why the inhabitants of women will be hell. Let me see if they're still talking. And mind you, this is one of these masculine ass Somali women, you know, that, you know, we have unfortunately, you know, encountered more than not. But let's go into it.
Nobody talked about your children, man.
Nobody spoke about any children since our
Stop lying,
president, so you're
sweetie.
making it all
Stop
up.
lying, Aisha. Stop.
Let me tell you something.
So basically, in that room, you have a Somali woman. You have a Somali woman who is accusing a West African brother of mine of actually talking about her kids when he did not say anything about her kids. So let's read more into this article. And I hate to say this, you know, may Allah forgive me, because we're supposed to hate what Allah hates, right? We're supposed to love what Allah loves, correct? But I'm beginning to really hate the energy of modern women. I'm really beginning to hate being around modern women. Even today, I was doing my mileage. I was doing my running, you know, my miles for my boxing, right? I was doing my mileage, right? This modern femzoid comes out of nowhere trying to challenge me on the track by trying to like run ahead of me. Like trying to compete with me, and there's other people on the track she can compete with, but no, she had to try to compete with me. So what did I do? I just opened my stride up more, because usually with jogging, you don't have to really have an open stride. But I just opened my stride up more and I dusted her ass and I lapped her ass. So I'm just what was the point of that? You know, it made me really like think like I was really about to call her out her name. It's sad to say it, but may Allah help my heart and ease my heart. But I really don't like the energy of modern women. And I especially don't like the energy of modern Muslim women who have taken after Western women. But let's go ahead and look into this article real quick. Okay, so it said why woman being the most gentle, caring, and sympathetic is supposed to be the most ungrateful and unthankful as a wife. It's narrated by Abdullah ibn Abbas that the Messenger of Allah, alayhi salatu wasalam, said, I was shown hell and I have never seen anything more terrifying than it. And I saw the majority of its dwellers being women. He asked, why, O Messenger of Allah? Because of their ingratitude. And next to their ingratitude, he put kufr. But mind you, kufr doesn't necessarily only mean disbelief. It can also mean like different things. He said, Abdullah ibn Abbas, he asked, are they ungrateful to Allah? He said they are ungrateful to their companions and they're ungrateful for good treatment. If you are kind to them for a lifetime, then she sees one undesirable thing in you, she will say, I never have anything good from you. And the thing is that this plays, you know, the thing is about hadiths is the hadiths are really multi-layered things. You know, hadiths are very multi-layered. So with that being said, the hadith is a very multi-layered thing, and when you think about it, it can relate to what's going on in the world today we live in, when you have a simp, right, who is willing to treat a woman good, and she's ungrateful for that good treatment, which is why, you know, usually the simp does not get the panties most of the time. And I'm pretty sure like Russell Wilson, in his case, you know, Sierra probably gave Future the mind-blowing, you know, bedroom action. But Russell Wilson, I'm pretty sure, gets starfish action because her wife is his wife is ungrateful for basically I want to say for everything that she's done to him. I'm gonna actually bookmark this page. Yeah, I'm gonna bookmark it. Let me see. This is a good page actually. I want to bookmark it. Yeah. Hold on just a minute. Okay. Wow, I just had it. Hold on just a minute. Okay, let me find that page again. Okay, cool. Let me see. I want to bookmark this. Still learning how to use this phone, y'all. Still learning how to use the phone. Forgive me for the delay. You know, I never knew I'm still learning as we go when it comes to these phones, especially this Apple phone, man. Well, I'm trying to bookmark it real quick. I wanna bookmark this page. Okay. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'll worry about bookmarking it later. Um, in the sake of time, I'll worry about bookmarking it later. Well, let's read what this sister has to say. Um, you know, Perhaps most women are always nagging and complaining to their husbands. They are never contented and pleased to their husbands. Annoying, vexing, and never to be thankful to their husbands are the most common features found in most women. Notice that she said most women. She didn't even just say in some women. She said in most women. Okay, and this is coming from a woman. So when a woman is telling you this, okay, and she's talking about other women, what does that tell you? What does this tell you about her? Okay, if she's saying it about other women, what is this saying? Okay, but let's continue. Apparently, women as mothers appear loving, caring, sharing, and generous towards their kids, but the same woman as a wife is completely contradictory in conduct and manner. Majority of women have a lot of grievances against their husbands, which is true. They have just a lot of grievances against men, period. As a matter of fact, let me go back to Clubhouse real quick. See, I'm just exposed this masculine ass. See if I guess they closed the room. But there was this masculine ass Somali woman with a deep ass voice that I wanted to just basically point out, but I'm not gonna I guess they closed the room, and then you would hear how deep her voice really is, and you would see how, imagine going back to her, imagine basically being. I was just gonna show imagine having a wife like that. But let's get back into this article. Not only about nagging, even many women cheat their husbands by lying beautifully about so many activities they do without the knowledge of their husbands, such as going out without their husband's permission, spending their hard-earned money recklessly, and giving gifts to their own members of family. Still, they find shortcomings in their life partners to pick up grudges and bitterness. In doing so, they even manage to demonstrate themselves to be victims of their husband's callousness and negligence. It is believed that the nagging wife is the widespread villain of married life. From the early pages of human history, there is perhaps no literature or folk institution where the character of the nagging wife is not found broadly. The most interesting about the nagging wife, and let's just use this interchangeably about nagging women, just in general, not just nagging wives, nagging women. But let's continue. The most interesting about the nagging wife is that it is one of the few characters who exceed history. Like the sacrificing mother, the one-sided lover of the tragic hero, the nagging wife can be found in ancient slave-owning agricultural societies, in affluent trading primitive ones, and the post-industrial deserts of contemporary West. What is it about the nagging wife which makes the character so universally inspiring? A nagging and complaining wife is rarely happy, and we see that with most modern women. They're not really happy. They pretend to be, but they're not. You can see how they conduct themselves. A nagging and complaining wife is rarely happy. She is frequently dissatisfied and always has something to criticize about. A nagging spouse, this sounds like a feminist. She sounds like she described a feminist. A nagging spouse believes that her happiness depends on others. She wants her spouse to fulfill her every urge, obey her commands, grant her every wish, and ask her for life directions. And the crazy thing about it is that still wouldn't be enough for a modern woman. You can do all of that. You can fulfill her needs, you can obey her commands, you can grant every wish, and it still wouldn't be enough for her. Our prophet said the first thing a woman is called to account on the day of judgment are her prayers and her relations with her husbands. They don't listen to that. In fact, the nagging wife will be found in almost all societies and cultures in all eras of history, even today's advanced world, irrespective of the differences of race, wealth, faith, culture, language. The character of nagging wife is common. A woman in the practice of nagging will find a reason to nag her husband. She does not try to help or find solutions, but will just try to find to object. Like, you drink too much water. Why are you wearing this color cloth? Why you don't replace this mobile? I hate the way you snore, and so on. She just goes on and on without realizing that no one is perfect. Even she herself is not perfect. Nagging all the time becomes horrible and unbearable. It becomes a pain in the neck. Once a wife has acquired that nagging attitude, she just cannot wait for him to finish his dinner before attack. We rarely hear about the nagging husband. Imagine a husband nagging his wife as you are becoming fat day by day. Why don't you learn some tips from your friend? You are very slow in cooking. Why your parents visit us every weekend. And the most annoying, you spend a lot on your shopping. Thus, the most common justification in nagging rests on psychology and its linked notion of human nature. People accept nagging, especially from wives, as an unescapable feature of married life. Nagging as a form of personal interaction, it's restricted within the walls institution of marriage. However, it is assumed that most women undergo from depression in comparison to men. There could be more reasons, but the most common factors that lead women to despair and dejection are the state of being in nail-biting relationships with their husbands. Maybe it is the woman's nature to always nag and find faults in their husbands, and always be complaining and counting for what they are not able to do. Whatever it may be, but this is completely against the ethics and teachings of Islam. A Muslim wife must be always thankful to Allah and to her husband. It is her obligation to be loyal, caring, loving, and sharing towards her spouse. Since it is the woman who is believed to be the homemaker and the home breaker, accountability doubles on her part to behave wisely. Something that women never take accountability of is their own selves and is their own way of behaving. I have not met one woman who has taken accountability for her actions, except for my mom when she messed up with my dad. But even when she did mess up, my dad was able to establish natural order without being aggressive, overbearing, or disrespectful. Alhamdulillah for that. So nagging not only affects the husband and the fact the whole family is shaken, including children who balanced bringing up seems polluted. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "Evaluate yourself concerning your husband, for he is your paradise or your hellfire." A woman who fears Allah must ensure her best to obey Allah and her husband and seek his pleasures, because he himself is her paradise or hellfire. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "If a woman dies while her husband was pleased with her, she will enter paradise." He further exhorted, if a woman performs the 5 times prayers, fasts the month of Ramadan, and obeys her paradise or obeys her husband, she will enter paradise from any gate she wants. The need of the hour for women as wives is to look up into the thousands such weaknesses within and try to rectify them in to lead a balanced life. Nagging is a psychological disease. It is allowed to grow beyond a certain limit within a person, and it leads to failure and collapse of personality. That's why you have these women talking about where all the good guys at and the things like that. And, they're actually, those guys are, the ones you complained about being too nice. And, like, these are the guys you didn't want, though. You know what I mean? So you can't like just you can't basically complain about talking about, hey, where are all the good guys, and you passed them up. You passed up those good guys. You didn't want those good guys. So you can't do that. That's not gonna work. Why can't I bookmark this darn thing? Because this is a good website, man. Very good website. And I'm about to show y'all a couple of videos about like let me see. Google services. Okay. Sorry it's taking so long. I just want to bookmark this page, but it just doesn't seem it's letting me. Let me see. Okay, so okay, got it. Finally, it took so long, but I needed to figure it out. But let's look into the videos of how ungrateful these women are and how much of the option or lack their options there are of women. But let's look into this one.
All we do is argue. All we do is argue. And she just ain't got, it's like she don't want nothing in life. I cannot be with a woman like that.
So here you have another Keisha, ungrateful Keisha. And also, unfortunately for the guy, it's a guy who probably just, he wanted companionship, and maybe just due to his I guess the social construct he's in, the options were few for him. So he went with Keisha, and of course Keisha is always going to be ungrateful, and this is not going to be his wife. But let's listen.
All we do is argue. Argue, argue, argue. She don't want to work. She pick her kids up, drop her kids off to her mama house while she go out and be in the streets all night. And I'm already paying the bills.
So the problem is with this is, number one, he took on the stepdad role. You know, he took on the stepdad role. That's the main problem. You know, that's a problem in itself. The fact that he took on the stepdad role. Number two, he's actually providing for her, right? And that still is not good enough for her to like reciprocate with any appreciation in return for doing so. So this just goes to show you like what time it is. But let's continue.
And the f***ed up part is, I got a homie. His wife got a business.
So another thing I want to add is that, you know, I guess he was trying to do the 50-50 thing, right? She didn't want the 50-50 thing. She wanted the 100% thing on his behalf while she goes and does God knows what out on the streets.
He's going to hire her on the spot to answer the phones for her business. $20 an hour. I tell this dumb, hey, my homie wife got a business. You know, all you got to do is answer the phone. $20 an hour. She going to look at me and tell me what the fuck I look like. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you look like?
So she doesn't want to work.
$20 an hour. You telling me you can't work for $20 an hour to sit on your ass? That's when I knew I couldn't work no more. That's her kids stuff. Like,
so again, those are her kids stuff. I can't do it. Her kids tearing my house up. So this man has resources. This man has assets. Unfortunately, he's in a position where he can't tell her kids what to do because they're not his kids.
I can't do it. Her kids tearing my house up. You know what I mean? I love them kids, my dear heart, but I can't do this. Sometimes you get fed up. I'm waking up, I'm going to work every day with attitudes.
And so not only does he have her attitude, he has the kids' attitude as well, which is probably gaslighted by her.
Getting into it with my boss, arguing with my employees, my co-workers, and it's like, I just can't do it. God, please forgive me for doing this. I never meant to be this way. Like, you know, I'm a good man at heart, but sometimes you get fed up. I done asked her 7 times to leave, and it's just like, I can't deal with this no more.
Well, he's doing the right thing by throwing her stuff out. He did the right thing by like throwing her stuff
and she
out.
She just ain't got, it's like she don't want nothing.
And doing that. Now let's listen to Gilly the Kid and what he has to say about like basically ungrateful women.
All the guys out there, $1 million worth of game in 2022, stop just picking your women off of looks. All right? Everybody look good in 2022. All these women running and getting their body done. Everybody's running around with a brand new body with some old pussy. Body newer than a motherfucker. Pussy done took 12,648 dicks.
And that's true. Like, you know, when you look at people like Blue Jasmine, when you look at people like Brittany Renner who got work done and stuff like that, it doesn't take like a genius to see that their bodies are kind of like disfigured from the amount of which we'll call it dinglings that they bench pressed, right? Like when you see these people with these new bodies and stuff, the new body does not necessarily negate the fact that they're done, you know. Sure, it enhances certain things, but it just really like at that point it's like, okay, well, you know, it's not really like worth it. You feel me? But let's continue on.
They done fucked the lining out that leather jacket. That's like having a Ferrari with cloth seats, nigga. No, that's like having a vacuum with no bag on it. Shit flying everywhere. What's the purpose? So all you niggas is out here that's going with looks. Oh, you just want a bitch that look good? Now you're laid up in the house with a bitch that need an oil change, a tune-up. Bitch, spark plugs need to be changed.
And that's true. That's the thing that we should not do as men.
All the guys out there, $1 million
we need not to do that. We need not to like go for the okie doke with a woman with looks. But I want to show you one more video based on the fact that basically this woman is ungrateful, and also she's very delusional. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what her delusions bring. Let's go ahead and see.
Many of the reasons Black women aren't getting married as much as other races is simply because our men just don't desire us for one reason or another. So if you want...
So she said our men don't desire us for one reason or another. Well, you know, where do I have to start to tell her why you're not desired? Like, where should I start first? You know what I mean? Like, what do I need to do to start first? You know, like, what should I mention? The Rundown by Pookie, Ray Ray, and Tyrone? Should I mention the Keisha culture? Should I mention the bad attitudes? Should I mention the masculine alpha female? Should I mention lack of accountability for themselves? What do I need to do first? Like, like, where should I start? You know what I mean? I don't know where I would start at, but let's continue.
To marry us, you have to truly desire us. I mean, truly love Black women. Love Black women who are sexually liberated. And
so, translation, love Black women that have been dug out by tons of guys, right? And when she's done with that, okay, I love you, no matter what.
Experienced enough to teach you some things. Love Black women who don't want to have children. Love
Black women that want to teach you something, but you really can't teach us anything. You can teach us what not to do and teach us what to stay away from, but that's about it. But let's continue.
High earning, high achieving Black women, even if she makes more than you.
Okay, Mrs., those high achieving, high earning Black women are not going to give the time of day to someone who makes less than them. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Love the big girls and the small ones too.
No, I'm not gonna love big girls, and that means that means if I was checking for a Keisha, you would be disqualified as well. You know, that's just the bottom line. I disqualified Keisha anyway. You know, what the hell do I look like?
Love Black women who don't have big butts and small waists. Love all shapes and sizes.
So what this translates to is like, love Black women who are lazy and who decide that, hey, you know, I want to spend my man's money all day eating. That's what she's basically translating this to, if you read between the lines.
Dark-skinned women with 4C hair. Love Black women for who they are and not your idea of what they should be.
That's not happening. There's
Many of the
no way in
reasons
hell
Black women aren't
that I would love a Black woman, a Keisha. You know, because I'm sorry to say it, but Keishas all have the same traits.
In 2022,
and
stop
it's
just
like
picking your
there's
women
nothing to love about those traits. They're all toxic, masculine, and demonic. Okay? There's nothing nurturing about Keisha whatsoever. And Halima, unfortunately, Halima and whatchamacallit are following down her path as well, as you saw in Clubhouse. They're going down that path very, very fast. And, you know, they better wake up and smell the coffee. But with that being said, that's all I got for now, guys. Y'all leave your thoughts and leave your comments. Fula signing out. Njaraman.